The National Eagle and Wildlife Property Repository is a 16,000 square foot warehouse that consists of approximately 1.5 million seized and confiscated wildlife products. That's just a thimbleful of what comes into the country every single year. I don't think that the average American knows that the National Wildlife Property Repository exists, nor what our mission is. We are actually located on the Rocky Mountain Arsenal National Wildlife Refuge. We are in sight of downtown Denver. We have the backdrop of the magnificent Rocky Mountains. The items within the repository are all seized for one reason or another. It is part of the widespread increase of wildlife trafficking within the nation and within the world. It used to be somebody looking to make a fast buck, and right now it's changed and it's actually funding insurgencies now. So we're looking at a higher level of illegality. This is the curio of a caiman that was stuffed and put into resin for somebody to put on their shelf as a conversation piece. They are comprised of every taxa that you can imagine. Everything from reptiles, amphibians, fish, all the way up to the charismatic megafauna of tigers and bears and lions.
There's lots of different techniques to document the illegal activity going on. Sometimes those techniques are undercover operations, sometimes they're more overt operations. Lots of different ways to uncover the truth about what's going on with the illegal taking of wildlife.
This came from, a lot of this came from sort of the dirty ivory in some respects. It still has pieces of the metal, jewelry.
Being a wildlife inspector and a special agent, you can imagine the magnitude of what comes into the country in one port every single day. Of major concern currently in wildlife trafficking, we call them the big three. We have the tigers, we have the elephants, and now the rhinoceros. It's not traditional Chinese medicine that they're being poached and slaughtered for. It's to provide a status symbol to the new wealth in countries like Vietnam. So now they're increasing the poaching to provide this rhinoceros horn, and that's more valuable than cocaine or platinum.
Whenever there's a commercial value in wildlife, there will be some who want to exploit that value. If left unchecked, that animal will be exploited, sometimes all the way down to extinction.
This is mink. Leopard skin. This is an example of an active smuggling where it was brought in as a commercial shipment, covered in suede with those googly eyes in it. The most shocking thing I think we have within the National Wildlife Property Repository is the tiger fetus. It was stuffed to put on somebody's shelf. This was an undercover case by one of our special agents who purchased the item for $3,500 illegally and then made the bust. There are only 3,500 tigers left in the wild. The low risk aspect is really within other countries, because they don't have the infrastructure or the law enforcement, if they did have regulations and laws, to enforce against wildlife trafficking. That's why the Obama administration has come out with a national strategy and implementation plan against wildlife trafficking. It is now a global security concern. When I see items like the tiger fetus, you can become despondent. But I think what's important is that you reframe your thinking and
you look at it as a positive, that that was actually something that was caught. Everybody can help be a solution to the problem by reducing their demand for such items. It's a simple supply and demand issue. If nobody were buying it, then the demand would decrease, and so would the supply.